Dr Joseph Gonzales, a one-time dancer in London's West End, is among the foremost dance educationists in the country. He is a firm advocate for arts education and is calling on the new government to make this a priority. He believes that understanding our own cultural expression and that of other cultures will help Malaysians develop greater respect for one another.
I'm very interested to see how the arts education can be embraced by society. And many arts practitioners have a global profile in arts education. It's very interesting that you would see people like Professor Gauss, Nasruddin, Professor Anes, Janet Pillay, myself, who attend conferences all across the world talking about arts education, advocating for arts education to improve it and so on. For us, this is really high up in our priority list. I like to look at my own example of the work I did at Aswara for 20 years or 22 years in developing a curriculum where the focus is two things. One is the look into traditional theatre and traditional dance. When I tell my dance students it's compulsory that you learn Malay dance, you learn Chinese dance, you learn Bharatanatyam, initially there was a lot of resistance. So you could see that the fractions that were drawn according to racial lines were very strong. And of course, I've had 7 dancers who become brilliant in Bharatanatyam, none of them are Indian. But it's about the fact that they are unafraid to embrace the culture. So the study of the culture of the other doesn't make them any less of who they are as a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian or a Buddhist. They become open to other cultures. And I think that is very imperative in this Malaysia today. We need to stop being afraid of the other person. And I think dance and arts can do that for you.
For Dr. Gonzales, art should not be limited to a mere pretty or technical performance. The best art is also usually a bold statement. He calls for the development of grassroots programs in rural areas.
You need to look at not primary and then secondary. You need to look at 13 years of education, and then you add it on to the tertiary levels. The Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Culture, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, I think they really need to work together. And then I think you need to develop it at grassroots. You need to develop it at the local level, especially in places like Kelantan, Terengganu, Sabah, Sarawak, which have very rich grassroots culture that will be faced with extinction if we don't encourage it from that level.
One dream he holds is that of a thriving theatre district with world-class talent and performances.